Shalom. Starting off, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rochakodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, who are learned to shoot from. And Shalom to the elect out there. Today's title of this lesson will be More Plagues and Pestilence. And this goes out to you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans, the true Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. Once again, today's title of this lesson will be More Plagues and Pestilence. So I have a quick NBC News article, and it reads, record-breaking rise in deadly infections in Japan renews focus on the mysteries of strep. Let's read on down for a little more information. It says a record-breaking rise in potentially fatal infections in Japan is bringing attention to persistent unanswered questions about the group of bacteria behind the illnesses. It says the rare infection STSS is caused by a group A strep bacterium, the same type that causes strep throat and scarlet fever. In rare cases, group A strep can enter deep tissue or the bloodstream, as is the case with STSS. Let's read this little part right here. It says up to 30% of STSS infections are fatal. The condition usually starts with a fever, chills, muscle aches, nausea, or vomiting, but can become life-threatening in 24 to 48 hours if left untreated. It can occur in tandem with necrotizing fasciitis, another bacterial infection that is described as flesh-eating because it destroys the soft tissue under the skin. And that's all we gonna get out of this article right here. I have a video also to bring this lesson out, but we constantly seen a rise, in these diseases and the pestilence the Lord is bringing. A lot of talks about this flesh-eating disease going on in Japan right now. We just read, this sounds like a terrible thing to have, but we already know that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we're seeing an increase in all these things. He's doing all these, he's bringing all these diseases and sicknesses upon the people. There's a lot of talks about bird flu, dengue fever, STDs on the rise, disease X, all these things we keep hearing about, but we do know that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he's in control of all these things. We already know these things are going to constantly increase, diseases and pestilence. We're going to constantly see these things, more and more. So I have a quick video to bring this lesson out, and then we'll just dive into a couple of precepts. All right, bear with me real fast. All right, here we go.
Japan is grappling with a serious outbreak of Streptococcus pyogenes, a flesh-eating bacteria that has caused numerous infections and deaths nationwide. With a fatality rate of around 30%, health officials are urging residents to be vigilant for symptoms like fever, swelling, and intense pain. Early diagnosis and prompt antibiotic treatment are crucial to prevent severe complications.
A deadly condition is surging in Japan, and it kills more than 30% of people diagnosed. Streptococcal toxic shock syndrome, STSS, can cause organ failure and even a flesh-eating condition called necrosis that can lead victims to lose limbs. Last year, Japan saw a record 941 cases and has already detected nearly 500 in the first 3 months of 2024, and no one knows why. STSS is a rare complication of infection by the strep A bacteria, which is found around the world and spreads through coughs, sneezes, and open wounds. Most infections are not serious and are easily treated with antibiotics. Common symptoms include high temperature, sore throat, and muscle aches. But the NHS says if you're worried about your child, you should trust your instincts and seek medical help. Japan's health minister says people should wash their hands and exercise cough etiquette to avoid infection.
All right, so as we see right there, man, the Lord is constantly bringing these plagues upon the earth, pestilence. And we constantly see these things left and right, and we already know these things go to increase, different diseases and different illnesses the Lord is but to bring upon this place. So let's start off today's lesson in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 7, verse 15, and at the NLT and also at the KJV. Let's start off with the KJV, and it reads, "The sword is without, and the pestilence and famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." And we already know the sword goes into judgment, also the modern day gun. And we constantly keep seeing a rise in pestilence, diseases, infection, and sickness. These things are coming rapidly. The plagues are not slack. We already know these things are going to increase. Things are going to get worse and worse. And it says famine. A lot of people are going to get picked off by famine. Lack of food, lack of resources and necessities. People are going to starve to death. And we already know this famine going to lead to cannibalism. It's come back in a big way. People eating each other because there's no food, lack of resource. So all these things that we're seeing right now, the Lord is but to bring the sword, the pestilence, and the famine. A lot of people will get picked off from these things. Let's read the NLT for a better understanding. It says, "There is war outside the city and disease and famine within." That's spot on. It says, "Those outside city walls will be killed by enemy swords. Those inside the city will die of famine and disease." And that's spot on, because we already know we're in a time of tribulation, a time of sorrow. We already know the Lord is but to send plagues upon earth. One of them is famine, and one of them is pestilence. We constantly see these things left and right, so we constantly warn our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you Native Americans of these things, because we know if you're not seeking the Lord in these days to come, if you're not fearing the Lord, you will perish in these days to come. So let's keep on moving. It's a very quick lesson. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 28, verse 8 through 9. "And it reads, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and evil and of pestilence." And that's what the true men of the Lord are constantly warning you about, of these things, war, evil, and of pestilence. The war drums are constantly beating. We already know War 3 is constantly brewing up. We already warning you of evils. Bad times are coming, tribulation, great trouble, and suffering is coming. And also pestilence. We constantly seeing a rise in diseases and sicknesses and illness. The Lord is constantly bringing these things about, and the true men of the Lord are constantly warning you things day in and day out. They're on the highways and byways, make these video epistles constantly warning our people of these things. Let's get verse 9. "And it reads, the prophet which prophesies of peace, when the word of the prophet shall come to pass, then shall the prophet be known that the Lord have truly sent him." And we are not warning you of peace, we are warning you of tribulation that's coming. Mass judgment the Lord is about to bring put forth. That's why we constantly always warn our people, you so-called Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans. Take heed to the wisdom, take heed to the knowledge and understanding of the men of the Lord, the true men of the Lord are prophesying right now. Stay out the church, these false pastors. They're not telling you of these evil things. They're not telling you of the bad times that come. All they do is pass around a collection box and say you're saved through the blood of JC. Lying to the people, leading them to death and destruction. The true men, Lord, of warning of a bunch of bad things coming. Prophecy is hopping off the page. Prophecy speaking loud and clear, and we constantly warn our people of these things. Let's read the NLT for a better understanding. It says, "The ancient prophets who preceded you and me spoke against many nations, always one of war, disaster, and disease. So a prophet who predicts peace must show he is right only when his predictions come true. Can we know that he is really from the Lord?" And we already know that a bunch of bad times are coming. We're not prophesying of peace. Tribulation, mass trouble, and mass suffering is coming to the face of the earth right now. Let's keep on moving. Just a very quick lesson. This is the book of 2 Ezra, the 16th verse 8, and it reads, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" Let's read it again. It says, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" And we do know that Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, he's bringing all these things. He's causing all these plagues to fall upon the face of the earth, and nobody cannot drive them away. These things will constantly increase. We're going to see famine, sickness, all these plagues the Lord sent upon us, different diseases fall upon people. A lot of people are about to get took out by these things. We constantly warn our people of these evils to come. All these plagues the Lord is about to send upon the earth. Mass judgment the Lord is about to send. Let's read this again. This is the book of 2 Ezra, the 16th verse 8, and it reads, "The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" We know that nobody can drive them away. Let's keep on moving. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 8, verse 50, and it reads, "For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the word, because they have walked in great pride." And that's what we constantly see around now. People walking in great pride. People are arrogant. People are moving about their life, worrying about their lavish lifestyles, worrying about the careers. They're not worrying about the signs of the times. They're not worrying about the prophecies that take place. They're definitely not worrying about the Lord. They're not fearing the Lord. And that's 2/3 of our people. You see, but a lot of miseries are about to fall upon people. Sorrow, hardships the Lord is about to put upon a lot of people. people because what? They're walking in great pride. They're not paying attention to the signs of the times. They're not listening to the middle of the Lord. They're mocking and scoffing, going about their lives, thinking things is sweet. But we do know that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, he's about to bring mass judgment, hardships and sufferings but to take place. Sorrows are about to multiply. Evil on top of evil is multiplying. Wickedness is constantly multiplying. The Lord is about to unleash mass judgment on the face of the earth. We constantly warn our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and you Native Americans. We constantly warn, if you're not seeking the Lord, if you're not fearing the Lord, you keep constantly walking in great pride, the Lord will destroy and you will perish in these days to come. A lot of misery will fall upon you. Let's read this again. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 8, verse 15. It reads, for many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time, and we are in the latter time right now, we are in the last days, shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. So I hope this lesson will edify. Next time I say, Shalom.